Welcome to India TV. I'm Anshu Jaising, and with us today we have Dr. Ajay Agarwal, Director Internal Medicine, Fortis. Welcome, sir. So, what is Nipah virus?
Nipah virus is a form of virus that is more of a zoonotic disease. Zoonotic disease we call when we have the virus that is primarily present in the animal. There is a reservoir and then it spreads to the human being. And from there, if it spread from person to person, then it can spread. So this is known as zoonotic disease. Nipah virus was initially found in Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, etc. And from there it was seen that the flying fox, that was a reservoir. And then that bat, this is type of bat, that infects the pig. And from the pig, it onwards spread to the human beings. And from there, human being, it can spread by the droplets or saliva or secretions from one to another. So this is in short about the Nipah virus.
So what are the common symptoms of Nipah virus?
Nipah virus, unfortunately, has got initial common symptoms are that of flu. Respiratory symptom, cold, cough, coryza, running of nose, body ache, and subsequently the patient may develop the symptoms of irritability, then confusion, sometimes convulsion, and that may lead in some of the patients to coma and death also, because that involves the brain later on.
So, looking at the past evidence, as you just said, how fatal is it? What is the fatality rate?
Fatality rate is almost 45 to 70% in most of the literature. That is quite high.
So, if I suspect myself to be exposed to, say, Nipah virus, and what is that I should be doing?
Number one, in endemic zone, we call the endemic zone is the area where the Nipah virus is prevalent. Now that it is prevalent in southern India that we see. So all of us should be aware that what are the symptoms of Nipah virus. Symptoms are again the same, like throat pain, cough, the symptoms that were with the COVID. Now that initially if we are able to detect, then we may be able to prevent the later complications and maybe the death rates. So it is very pertinent that the patient should reach the doctor in the endemic zone, and the doctors should have their high level of suspicion and get the PCR test done from the nasopharyngeal swab, from different fluids, and then we catch the person with the Nipah virus. We can isolate them, we can treat them.
So, sir, as you were talking about tests, what are the tests and how we, apart symptoms, how can we diagnose it?
The tests are initially it is a PCR, that is polymerase chain reaction. We all have heard this term many times during the COVID. So once we can detect the PCR from the nasal fluid, from the throat secretions, then we can detect it at high level. Later on, it can be detected with the ELISA for the antibody. But for the initial, we have the PCR, and that is very sensitive and specific, and then we can detect the Nipah virus.
So what is the treatment? Do we have vaccination? Do we have medication for this thing?
Unfortunately, we do not have any vaccine for Nipah virus. One, prevention, like for any other virus, is the main treatment. You should get isolated. The person should avoid mixing in the crowd. Frequent hand washing, mask. These are all back for the Nipah. The treatment part is still in the nascent state. We have got monoclonal antibody 102.3 that are being tried. There is a drug, ribavirin, that is being tried. But as such to say that we have got any solid treatment for Nipah virus is not there yet. It is still in nascent state.
Is it something to do with the age group?
Well, like any other virus, Nipah virus also affects more in the extreme age groups, like in the infant and children, and then the older group. It affects more like pregnant females, more serious in immunocompromised patient like diabetic patient with lung asthma conditions, heart failure, patients who are on immunosuppressant drug, on chemotherapies, cancer patient. This definitely has got more adverse effects.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on our show.